Hey, what's up, you guys? So, today we're gonna do something a little different. I'm actually really excited for today because today we're gonna be doing top 10 tragic creepypastas childhoods that I think are tragic personally. Starting off with number 10, we have Tiki Toby. So, I don't know if y'all have read the one that I've read, but the one that I've read, I don't know if this is the original, but the one that I've read has that Toby's father is actually very abusive and that his sister died in a car crash. Man, that's like a lot, but still enough to traumatize a child. And also, he was numb to any pain, which, I mean, hey, that's good news, I guess. But anyway, all I know is that in Tiki Toby's story, honestly, the part where he mentions that his sister died in a car crash, that one about made me cry. But all I can think now is I am actually pretty glad that he got revenge on his father. Number 9. Homicidal Lou and Jeff the Killer. So, I don't know if the one I've read is the OG, which, I mean, I've read many different creepypastas, and I don't know if any of these are the OG. But, okay, hear me out. Why did the kids have to bully them? Like, they could have went on their way and been normal, but no, they just had to bully them. And poor Lou. Poor Lou, because he just took the bullet for Jeff. Anyway, moving on to number 8. Liam Jacqueline. Yes, Liam is one of mine if you didn't know. But man, I mean, his backstory is kinda tragic. Like, his mom was, always abusing him. Then he had a abusive stepfather. It's just sad. Anyway, moving on to number 7. Shadow. Yes, Shadow is again one of mine, but her backstory is still kind of tragic as well. She got abandoned by her father and had to take care of Luna. Then when Rosalina came back, she kind of killed Luna. And then Rosalina decided to, get angry and killed her. So, I mean, you can honestly have tragic. Anyway, next is number 6. Luna Chatbell. Luna is, yes, one of mine. But her story is basically she watched her mom get murdered. Then her father left her and only took one of her sisters. And left her other sister, Shadow, to look after her. And then Shadow killed her because Rosalina was too lovey-dovey. And of course, you already know Shadow is the jealous type and Shadow got jealous. Anyway, moving on to number 5. Sally Williams. Now, let me just say this. Sally, what is wrong with this story? I honestly am glad that the uncle died because, I mean, Jesus, who kills a kid? I mean, I would mention it, but I'll get demonetized. Anyway, moving on to Ben Drowned. Now, let me just say, Ben Drowned is one of my personal favorites. Anyway, I read too many different stories of these, and I don't know which one's the original. If y'all know the original, comment it down below. But all of them are just terrible. I mean, there's the one where the dad drowns them. There's the one where he gets sacrificed by a moon cult. There's the one where a kid pokes out his eyes and throws them in the lake. Like, I mean, they're all just terrible. Anyway, to number 3, Laughing Jack. Was kind of sad. Not really sad, but kinda. I mean, I don't know if the one I read about Laughing Jack was OG. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But the one that I read was where he was a clown and a funny rainbow happy clown. And then later kids started hating him or something like that. And then he went sad, domestic, and disturbing. And then he started killing kids for no reason. So, yeah, that's the one that I've read. Anyway, moving on to number 2. We have Lazari's. Lazari was just wow. I mean, her mom was so rude. Oh my god, dude, you made a deal with the devil. What did you expect? I mean, she's over here angry about her child being a demon. Well, you shouldn't have made a deal with Satan. I'm just saying, you shouldn't have made a deal with the devil. I am sorry to say that I really dislike her mother because you made a deal with the devil, and what did you expect? Anyway, moving on to the last and final one, number one. Number one spot, we have Rosalina. Now, the last one is Rosalina on here. Is, again, one of mine, yes. So, I'm just gonna say it's Rosalina and prepare your tissues because it's about to get sad up in here. This one is the most brutal and messed up one on here. At 5 years old, she was beaten by her dad and sister's shadow, but she was also loved by her mom. So one day when Rosalina just turned 6 years old, keep in mind this was on her birthday, when she just turned 6 years old, her father taped her to a chair and killed her mother in front of her. Not gonna lie, Luna walked in and didn't see Rosalina. She just walked in and saw that. And because she was too young to understand, she didn't tell no one. But anyway, moving on. She killed her. Okay, well, I keep on reading from this, thing that I wrote down, and it's really not making sense because I don't have my glasses. After that, he then left for 3 years, then came back to her and announced that her mom was dead, left for 3 years again, and together he left for 6 years. He came back, took Rosalina with him, and left Shadow and Luna alone. Then she lived with her dad, her abusive stepmom, and her poor little brother Liam. When 12 years old, her 13-year-old brother Liam snapped and killed his mom and her dad. She helped bury the bodies, but 3 years later, when Liam was 16 years old, he went to an insane asylum for killing his mom and her dad. Rosalina then was only 15 years old. She moved back with her 20-year-old sister Shadow and her 19-year-old younger sister Luna. Then 1 year later, when Shadow was 21, Luna was 20, and Rosalina was 16 years old, Shadow killed Luna. When Rosalina witnessed it, she got so angry that she blew up the entire house, killing Shadow and whoever else was in it but her. Then, when she realized what she had, she tried to oof herself. Let's just say that. If y'all played Roblox, you know what I'm talking about. But because she was the goddess of life and death, nothing worked. So she passed out and saw a man. Then she realized who he was and gave him a note from his daughter. And that man was her uncle, and her uncle was Slenderman, and now she lives with the creepypastas now. But what's so messed up about is that she gets yelled at by Shadow, and Shadow hates her now. So, she's always drinking, smoking, popping pills, and cutting behind everyone's back. And Shadow's always also, when her and Shadow are the only ones in the house, in the creepypasta house, that is, Shadow makes Rosalina play a so-called game of hide and seek, as she says it, where Rosalina has to hide, and if she gets found, she gets abused by Shadow. So when Slender and everyone gets home, Shadow will act like she is reading a book, but Rosalina is always covered in burns and bruises from Shadow. The only one who notices it is Alex, her cousin. So Alex never leaves the mansion without Rosalina. I mean, sometimes she will. She just won't go far. But the reason why Rosalina doesn't stop Shadow is because she doesn't want to blow up the mansion or hurt Shadow again. But one day, Rosalina and Alex were taken to their Aunt May's house after a year because Rosalina had such bad self-esteem. At 18 years old, she went to a mental hospital. When she turned 21 years old, she was returned back home. So yeah, What do you guys think? Which one's the saddest and which one's the horrible one for y'all? Tell me in the comments. Bye guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.